Hey guys, welcome back, and for those of you who don't know, my name is Rob McFarlane, and I take your favourite film and TV series, analyse it and show you just why the filmmakers do it. And today, we're going to be taking a look at classism in Loki. Marvel movies and TV series tend to make rather huge, universe-encompassing, save the world type movies and stories. So what's really interesting is Disney Plus's latest series, Loki, does take a moment to actually make a statement on class in one of its episodes. Spoilers for episode 3 of Loki. Also stick around for the end of the episode to see why this scene shows us just how different this Loki is to the one that we lost in Avengers Endgame. If you're suitably caffeinated right now, like I am, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of my fully caffeinated videos in the coming weeks. Back to the episode.
I don't know what that means!
So after a bit more ambling across this alien planet, they arrive at the train station because apparently Google Maps still works. So when we join the pair who've arrived at this train station, we get to see what's happening. And this is where we start to expand upon what the filmmakers are trying to say about human culture, human nature. As you see here, there's a long queue of people dressed very similarly down the queue. Now, we don't know too much about the hierarchy of this planet just yet, but the first clue comes into view around here. Look at the way the guards are dressed. First of all, they have guns, so that keeps people relatively orderly. Secondly, the way in which the face shields cover their identities and the design of the guards' uniforms make them look far more regal, far more upper class than those peasants that happen to be in this queue. Side note, the planet is about to explode and everybody knows it. Everybody's trying to get off the planet to safety. Yet, they are queuing in a very orderly manner. They must be English. Maybe a strongly worded email to middle management. That'll get shit done. I'll show them. So as the two Lokis find their way past the queue and they're about to enter the train, we hear,
They're only giving tickets out to the wealthy! What about us?
yeah, what about us? Well, that confirms our suspicions that there is most definitely a social hierarchy on this planet, and it is just as corrupt as our own. We see ahead of the two Lokis, two characters just sashaying towards the front of the train, not looking at the peasants across to the side who are screaming and shouting at them and complaining that they're not getting on the train, that they haven't been given tickets, but these two do. But what's really interesting here is there's a little detail in the background which tells us even more information about the social hierarchy of this situation. Check the background. There is literally a metric ton of luggage waiting on the platform to be loaded onto the train, confirming that the issue that the peasants aren't getting on the train isn't to do with lack of space.
Okay.
What a wonderful time to celebrate the end of a whole planet and all the people that they've left behind on that platform to die. So the first 3 shots on the train show us just how bad this issue of classism is on this train. First of all, we get to see some of the other passengers on the train. They're smiling, enjoying themselves. We see 1 or 2 spare seats around them, nothing too bad. But then as the camera pans across the space, we see more and more and more seats completely free. The train was never full. It was never even meant to be packed. And the passengers on the train are of a specific strata, probably not wanting to have shared the space with peasants on this last ride to the last ship evacuating the planet. In fact, if you take a look here, this passenger's positively ecstatic that they survived and the peasants didn't. I don't know about you, but this kind of feels a little bit Snowpiercer. If you're enjoying the episode so far, don't forget to chuck a comment down below. Let me know what other TV series and films you'd like to see analysed in the coming weeks. Also, this entire space is so lavish. It's not designed to house 100 passengers. It's maybe designed to seat 20 in lavish comfort, being served by a bar that's in the centre of the space. It's so uneconomical. It's so over the top. It's not meant to be for people who can't spend copious amounts of money on a seat. Finally, I want to address the big elephant in the room, and that really is that this scene totally secures where Loki's head is at in this series.
Cheers. To the end of the world.
Compared to the Loki who was killed in Avengers Endgame.
The Tesseract. Or your brother's head.
This leaves us with a really strange taste in our mouths. We know that Loki is redeemable, and so this sequence where we see him pass by obvious opportunities where he could be heroic, he could save people, easily have used his magic to sway the guards in the line to let all of the peasants on. Instead, he doesn't do any of that. So we're stuck following a character who is obviously still not seen the error of his ways.
You do realise we're about to try and hijack the power source to a civilization's only hope.
I do.
It's not going to be easy. We should rest.
He's still 10, 20 steps behind the character that we saw in Avengers Endgame. And this also makes Loki an incredibly compelling character to watch because we want to see him evolve. We want to see where these new events will take Loki's character. Will he become a hero or will he become a villain? Chin chin to those of you who still have some coffee in your cup, and for everyone else who wants to learn more about cinematic language so you can appreciate the film and TV that you watch even more. Check out the link above and below to my acclaimed Cinematic Language 101 course.